Yeah, they're good, aren't they?
What prescription are those?
Oh, just minus +1, plus
Okay.
1.5. No, just enough to get you out of trouble.
That's a really good idea. Did you order them online?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll get some of those. But yeah, that's and things like that. Well, I'm in a household where I've always been in the minority because the other two people that I live with have both got both glasses wearers, both contact lenses wearers, and I've always been very lucky with my vision. Until now, I've just age is making me go long-sighted, and I'm having to on a daily basis go, oh shit, there are some words I can't read. And as an actor and also writer, whatever job I'm on that day, that can be a handicap. I need to read these words, and the tools that have always allowed me to do that, these globes, are letting me down.
Yeah, and I think it doesn't matter which way you frame it. You can't go on camera wearing reading glasses.
No, unless you make a choice about your character.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's interesting because Gary Lineker does.
Yes,
he's very.
He makes a point of it. Yeah.
He's very good at just breaking out the old the Tom Fords.
And also, he's a good example of someone who. What you were saying before about no one guides you. There's no rule book. Blah 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 about masculine aging. He's let himself go grey very gracefully, and he puts his reading glasses on. But there will be people who, for all of us, going to go, yeah, well, chapeau to you, well done. We're very proud of you for representing the middle-aged man very well. There'll be loads of kids who go, that old man, let's put some glasses on. I don't want to watch this. And you go, yeah. But that will be you. That will inevitably, if you're lucky, that will be you in 20, 30 years' time.
Yeah.
I don't mean you'll be Gary Lineker. That's not an offer. But it's very hard. You'll remember when you were in your teens and even 20s, just thinking, why do I need to think about
invincibility beyond anything you could imagine?
So even if an older man that you respected, a father or a father figure, an uncle or someone that you thought that was cool that you worked with, had said, by the way, son, this is going to happen, and you're going to need to piss through the night. You might have surgery. You'll lose your eyesight. You'll lose your hair. You'd go, yeah, whatever, Granddad.
Yeah, or you would just say, "What? Just don't
tell me.
Don't tell me stuff like that.
Don't be such a buzzkill.
Tell me about when you were younger and the things. Tell me stories about when you were in Greece."
So, like everything is an echo chamber. Why Greece? What happened in Greece?
Nothing.
What happens in Greece stays in Greece.
Yeah. But these blokes spend so much money on their bikes.
They do.
Yeah, there's a guy he used to live in one of my flats. Had a bike for 10 grand he paid for it.
What, a push bike?
Yeah, and I only saw it on a frame in the kitchen of this flat, sort of looking like a piece of art.
Did he say, "Oh look, give us your index finger"?
Yeah, well, it was. Yeah. You could pick it up like that. It's really light, carbon fibre and whatever.
Was it 10 grand's worth of?
That's
light?
what he told me.
But was it 10 grand's worth of light?
It was very light, but
What was he like? Was he a big
he was
lad?
A bit of a
lump.
No.
Like a bleached whippet.
LMN, 2 letters along. Knob. He was a bit of a knob.
Was he happy?
No, not really. Not really. He was one of those strange people.
10 grand's worth of unresolved childhood issues then.
Yeah, that's right. What was done to you when you were young?
Yeah,
exactly.
I didn't get a chopper.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chopper. I didn't. It's not funny.
No, I didn't get. I was too old for those then. I was what are those? They're worth a lot of money now.
I know.
Was that something you always asked for? A chopper?
God,
It's a Christmas present that never came.
That and a typewriter for some reason. I don't know why.
You wanted a typewriter?
Weird, isn't it?
How old were you?
13, 14.
That's weird. No, it's not weird, actually.
No, it's the start of the internet.
Sort of modelling, but promotional work. And they're studying incredibly hard. And in 5 years' time, there'll be a practicing barrister or a practicing doctor. And that's, you look at them and you kind of go, I'm going to put that person in a box. Bin man, railway worker, superstar, whatever box, good or bad. If you esteem someone really high or if you esteem someone really low, you've got no idea what their internal monologue is. And quite often we esteem all these people that live with their sort of halo effect. They live this perfect life and we go, God, they must be so happy. They're often the least happy people, and the people that we perceive as, low self-esteem, they're actually quite, well, I'm all right. Quite happy, actually. Got no money, no problems.
Mm. You see a lot of people in the pub, don't you, Steph?
I do, yeah. I mean, again, I'm not one for making assumptions based on appearance or what they've got to say. I mean, the point Neil made is everyone's got their own thing going on, and it can be incredibly complex. But I'm a watcher and an observer. I like to let them talk to me, and then.
Well, that's difficult because you get a lot of silent men in pubs, don't you?
You do get a lot of silent, tortured, who appear to be tortured. You can see the cogs turning as they drink, and you're just wondering what is going on there. But it's a brilliant people watching job for me, and it's something that I really enjoy doing.
I bet. Who's the person that's sort of surprised you the most, where you think you've got them, and then something happens?
Probably actually Nick, who did the first podcast here, because I mean, first appearances, you think a scruffy, kind of unquenchable guy who drinks too much, but you scratch beneath the surface and you think, wow, this is quite a complex character. He's got a hell of a lot going on, and a hell of a lot going for him, and it's just that unwritten rule again. You never make assumptions based on appearance, because there's so much beneath the surface.
It started off with Minecraft.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you still got the
I've got the mug.
Yeah. And then it was something else.
Fortnite.
Yeah, I did. He went to Fortnite. Oh my God! There's a kid round here called Noah's Noah. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
2 million subscribers. He lives down the end of the road.
Of course he does.
Can't get him to do the podcast.
Yeah.
Do you want to come in and talk to him? Because I wouldn't know what to say to him.
Oh yeah, we'll chat to him. But
I would be just like a lame dad going, so tell us about your
online gaming.
Your gaming. Yeah.
No, we could chat, but
what does he play?
Yeah, that's the key thing.
Fortnite.
It's just Fortnite.
It's just Fortnite.
Kev could chat to him. I could only talk to him if he did some other games that
like
I like
what?
playing. I like playing Rust. I like playing Prison Architect. I did a little bit about this in my last stand-up show. I did a bit about online gaming addiction.
Noob.
Noob. Yeah.
Fantastic. Loved it.
Thank you. Which is for those of you who are not into online gaming, noob is short for newbie. And depending on how you spell it, because I did a Facebook poll, it depends on whether you are condescending to that person or not. You could be a noob, which is N-E-W-B, which means you're just new at something. But you could be a noob, which is N-O-O-B, which is you're an idiot.
Yeah, like a grim.
Yeah.
So we could talk to him, but like Kev's played Fortnite.
Yeah, I've played Fortnite, not very proficiently. I mean, I found the best way to get in the final, because you have to get in the final. Well, you have to be the winner, really.
Yeah, no,
but the best way to get into the final 3 is just to hide.
What's the best thing that's happened to you this year, Simon?
Apart from this, if I can include the tail end of last year.
He always has to.
Can I do that?
Is this when you were on?
Just stick within the parameters.
Were you on stage with Rick Astley doing something?
I might have been.
What was that about?
I might have played at the O2 in
You
front
didn't.
of
No way.
18,000 people. I might have done that. Yeah.
18,000 people.
Yeah.
Who were they there to see?
It's just another day. Me, obviously.
Oh yeah, of course.
No, it was because I do very occasionally play with Mr. Astley, not in that way, musically. And anyway, he was doing it. So it was Chris Evans' Children in Need, big party, end of year, and we were the Luddites, which is the band that I play in with Rick. Rick said, "Do you want to come and do a couple of songs?" And in fact, Graham, the guitarist, didn't want to in the end. So, of course, I have no shame. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So, so I went out at the end and I played Highway to Hell with Rick on drums and singing, and also
That's rocking.
Charlene Theron from Texas.
Texas, yeah.
She was yeah, that was great.
So 2 numbers. Or
No,
more?
I did 2 numbers. I did Highway to Hell on the bass, which is great because you only come in on the chorus as well, so you only have to play half a song. So and then I also played acoustic on Merry Christmas Everybody, but I'm pretty sure they turned me down and off because I just said, look,
Oh, I don't think so. Don't do yourself down. I think you're probably there all the way.
But it was
through.
great. It was really good. It was fun.
Was that the biggest audience you've stepped out in front of?
For sure.
Could you see all of them?
You can see an awful lot. Yeah, I mean, I made a point of kind of making sure I looked out.
Counting them.
I just went, darlings, it's me.
You mentioned breathing there. Do you teach anything about breathing?
I do a couple of back care classes, for example.
Because they're saying now that nose breathing is the thing that you should concentrate on when you're doing anything physical.
Yeah, which is, if you're lifting heavy weights, to be honest, that's be the last thing you're actually going to think of, because you'd be tensing so much, and that's another thing. When you're training, you should learn to relax. But when when whatever age we are, we're trying to push a lot of weight, we tend to tense up because we're trying to do it. We either hold a breath or breathe out at the wrong time. So just to get somebody just to breathe in the right way is a challenge. But once that's mastered, you can do a lot of other things really simply.
That's fascinating, that crossover between breathing, relaxation, and combining the efforts and making it work together.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, breathing is number one.
Yes.
Breathing is the key, because breathing is, first of all, the essence of life. The day we take that last breath, that's it. Yes. So, and that we have very little, we forget that. Now, it's a barometer of how we feel, and it's a bridge between the mind and the body. And it's also the easiest accessible self-regulating tool. So we start with the breath. Now, if I tell the teenagers, whether they have ADHD or any sort of condition, or any adult, let's breathe, they will panic, or they will run away and say Sophia is crazy.
What, because nobody's ever instructed them how to breathe appropriately?
Because it's a bit weird. Let's breathe. Yes, I breathe already, but how one's breathe? So the idea is through movement to release, open the body, get rid of all the tension, the excess, and loosen up so that the breath can start flowing, and then come back to the breath. So there are different techniques how to approach it, but the breath is key, I would say.
Okay. Sorry, that was probably a little bit too close.
That's all right.
Having you on talking about Bohemian Rhapsody is just like the tip of the iceberg, isn't it? As far as what you've actually done is concerned. Well, do you have one thing that kind of jumps out and you go, right, that's never going to leave me?
Well, the one that probably the most concentrated was I did the opening of the Olympics for Danny Boyle.
Oh yeah, just the opening of the Olympics.
Yeah, and that was so interesting. It's fascinating. I put about, I think it's 34 cameras I put on it. I was camera supervisor on most of these jobs, and I still operate as well. And we were. So
2012, you're up at the Olympic Park.
Well, I was up there for 2 or 3 weeks beforehand. We were rehearsing in Dagenham, and the amazing part about it was all kept secret, and there were most of the people in that were amateur people that came along, nurses and people, and
they kept stum.
They all kept stum. It was brilliant, and we were in Dagenham. We built two actual arenas with scaffolding towers for the cameras to go on, so you could leapfrog them to rehearse. And there's a couple of great moments in that. You must have had lots of stand-ins for, like Spice Girls stand-ins on the taxis and all of that sort of stuff when you were rehearsing. We got all that stuff, yeah. But of course
that would be a good claim to fame.
And I did the Spice Girls. They load their stuff. They're nice girls as well. But the Olympics was really fascinating to me, and they built this fantastic dome.
Is that because of the scale of it?
Yeah, and it's also live. I kept saying to people, it's live. People forget 3 hours live. And it was very complicated because Danny had written this wonderful sort of complicated script.
It's easy to forget, isn't it? Because it was mammoth.
It was
a
mammoth.
real big deal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Nothing like that had ever been done at the Olympics before.
Well, they built this stage in Montreal. It came over in about a shipload of 58 containers, and they built this dome. And the point loading on that dome was 4 or 5 tons, because they had cart horses walking around on top of it. You remember
Yes.
the English countryside and
Yes.
various scenes that were done on there.
Yes.
Plus 5,000 dancers jumping up and down on it. And it was brilliant. It was honeycombed with steel with 4x2 holes in it, built by a Canadian company. And I was there for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it was under the it was a building site in terms of the insurance and things like that. So we had very strict instructions what we couldn't do, and I had to go and measure things, because my job was all, again, come back to lenses, it's all measurements. And I had to go inside the dome. It was pouring me rain one day, and I had to go inside there because I talked to the director, who was Hamish Hamilton, actually directed the live event, and Danny was the creative director. And I said, I've got to get this, because I had to get the measurements right for the rings to go up. And we used a thing called a tower cam. And so I was going to basically make a hole in this thing so this thing could come up, and so the lid would close afterwards on 2 bits. And I thought, I don't know how to do this, because the whole of the people that were building it were, they'd come from Belgium or somewhere. It wasn't easy to just go up and chat to somebody. And as I was walking in and wondering how I was going to do it, a little guy comes towards me, and we all had the yellow helmets and the glasses and the
safety gear,
everything. He said, "Hey, Barry." And I said, "Hey, it's Paul." I said, "Hi, Paul." And I'd worked on the Cirque du Soleil for a lot of years with him. And I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Barry, I built this." I said, "Can I cut a hole in this bit?" He said, "Tell me what you want to do." And I thought, fantastic. So I got
so because of this guy that had produced or worked on Cirque du Soleil with you, that's another. It's just blowing my mind.
Well, it's just one of those stories that I remember that as being just a great moment for me, because I allowed me to get on with some stuff.
Cutting a hole in Paul's dome.
Yeah,